Hello, you guys. Today is going to be a Bible study on Psalms 46. So, I'm going to be reading from the King James Version of the Bible. I'm going to go through and read the Psalm. Then I also have some notes from using the NIV version. So, Psalm 46. God is our refuge and strength, a very present help in trouble. Therefore, we will not fear, though the earth be removed, and though the mountains be carried into the midst of the sea. Though the waters thereof roar and be troubled, though the mountains shake with the swelling thereof. Selah. There is a river, the streams whereof shall make glad the city of God, the holy place of tabernacles of the Most High. God is in the midst of her; she shall not be moved. God shall help her in that right early. The heathen raged, the kingdoms were moved. He uttered his voice, the earth melted. The Lord of hosts is with us; the God of Jacob is our refuge. Selah. Come, behold the works of the Lord, what desolations he hath made in the earth. He maketh wars to cease unto the end of the earth. He breaketh the bow, and cutteth the spear in sunder. He burneth the chariot in fire. Be still, and know that I am God. I will be exalted among the heathen. I will be exalted in the earth. The Lord of hosts is with us. The God of Jacob is our refuge. Selah. So I want to go through and just explain like certain verses throughout chapter 46. So I'm going to be explaining from the King James version and also the NIV version. So starting with verse 1, it reads, God is our refuge and strength, a very present help in trouble. Also verse 2, therefore we will not fear, though the earth be removed, and though the mountains be carried into the midst of the sea. Though the waters thereof roar and be troubled, though the mountains shake with the swelling thereof. Selah. So this verse is talking about God being our protection, right? Our refuge, our protection. So when it says, therefore we will not fear, though the earth be removed, and though the mountains be carried into the midst of the sea, right? So it's like God not having fear, no matter what, even if though the mountains be removed, and though the earth be removed, and though the mountains be carried into the midst of the sea, though the waters thereof roar and be troubled, though the mountains shake with the swelling thereof. So it's talking about God being our protection in the midst of everything, right? God being our protection no matter what, in the midst of everything, or the earth be removed, or the mountains be cast into the sea, or the roaring of the ocean, or the roaring of the waters. And this can be many things in your life, right? This can be, life circumstances. It can be also like anything. God is our protection in the midst of everything, right? And just like, for example, I remember a time when I live in the Bay Area, and we have a BART train. So it's basically a train. And there's a part when you're on the train. There's a part of the train that goes underwater, and it's like a tube. And I always had a fear of going under this tube. I had the fear that the tube was going to break, right? And I would pray to God, and I know that God heard that prayer, right? And I know that He heard that prayer, and I believe that He was protecting me during that time. And yes, I do struggle with anxiety, and that probably is it really is coming from the place of anxiety, because like it's really not likely that right, it's like that it's really small chance that the tube will bust, right? But what I do know is that God heard that prayer, right? So in the midst of those troubling times, and even those even in times of anxiety, praying to God and knowing that He'll answer. And I mean this in a way, because sometimes knowing that you can pray to God in the midst of that, right? And He will answer that prayer. And another example is like, I remember I worked in a different city, and I was taking a Lyft to work. And my Lyft driver, we were on the freeway, but he was driving extremely fast on the freeway, right? And I do struggle with anxiety, but I do fear that my life was in danger, right? Because he was driving extremely fast. It was faster than what I do. So I was very anxious because of that. Speeding is not like, I know it's the freeway, but he was going faster than what I have ever been in a car with. So I had a fear of that, and I prayed to God, and I believe that God brought it to my remembrance after I got saved, and knowing that God answered that prayer, right? Because I feared for my life, right? And who knows what could have happened if if I didn't say the prayer. Now I feel like sometimes we say prayers and nothing happens. We're like, oh, I was just being anxious, which is very true. You can't be like, that is a very true thing. But what if your prayer was the reason why nothing happened, right? What if that prayer was answered, right? And the reason why nothing happened is because God answered that prayer. And we know that God, He knows we're gonna pray before we ask Him, and He already answered that prayer because He is the God of yesterday, now, today, right? So like He already knew you were gonna pray it. He's ahead of us, right? So He already answered that. He answered that prayer because you prayed it, right? And I know, not to say like sometimes we can't just have anxiety, but you never know that because sometimes that your prayer is maybe the reason why why it didn't happen, right? So I have to say this because you know that you could pray to God. He's our protection. He's our protection in the midst of everything, right? So He, in the midst of the earth being removed, in the midst of the mountains being cast into the sea, in the roaring of the waters, He is our fortress. He is with us. He loves us. He's covering us. He's with us, right? So we don't have anything to fear. You don't have to fear those things. He's covering us. So no fear. And that is something that speaks to me because I'm really delivered of certain anxieties now. Like I don't like now when I'm in the car, like I don't like anxieties of like the tube bursting, right? I realize that's really just my anxiety, but it's okay to say that prayer, right? More than most likely it's not gonna happen, but there's nothing wrong with saying that prayer, right? Even like there's nothing wrong with saying that prayer because you are going into a situation that is it's a situation that you will want to pray over, right? Like kind of like it's less, not very likely that it will happen, but it's nothing wrong with saying that prayer because it is a situation that's kind of like can be dangerous, right? And I feel like I'm delivered of that. I don't go into situations like fearing that like those things are gonna happen anymore. Like what delivered me of my anxiety, like I used to have a fear of bridges, right? I haven't drove over a bridge since I've been walking with the Lord, like submitted to Him, and but I don't have a fear of the bridge falling. I just have a bridge of being on the bridge, like in the bridge collapsing while I'm driving on it, right? That's me, my fear. I had a fear of the bridge, like an earthquake happening when I was on the bridge, and now I don't have that fear anymore. I trust God that He will not allow the bridge to fall while I'm on the bridge, and I trust that He won't send an earthquake while I'm on the bridge. And if He does, I have believed God that He will protect me in the midst of that, even if the bridge is an earthquake and the bridge, whatever it may be, I believe He's gonna cross the ocean to save me, because He is there for us in those times, and He is the God who will, because He loves us that much. I believe He'll cross the ocean to save me. So that is freeing to me, right? It delivered me because I know that I don't have faith in the bridge, but I have faith that God will protect me. I have faith He will uphold the bridge, and I have faith even if He allows an earthquake to come while I'm on the bridge, He's going to save me. If the bridge falls, He's going to save me. I'll be okay. I have faith in knowing that He will come to my refuge because He is my refuge. So knowing you can pray to God about everything, with all your troubles. We don't have to go into anything being fearful. We are not supposed to go into anything being fearful, knowing that God is your refuge. He's our protection. We don't have to be fearful, right? We have faith in God, It says, there is a river, the streams whereof shall make glad the city of God, the holy place of tabernacles of the Most High. God is in the midst of her, she shall not be moved. God shall help her in that right early. So I believe that they're speaking about Israel, but we can use this for us today because we are a temple of the Holy Spirit, right? We are the church, right? God, we are the temple of His Holy Spirit. He literally lives within us, right? He will not allow us to fall. We don't have to be fearful. God will not let you fall. He is with you. You don't have to go into, He's with you. You don't have to fear anything. Know that God is with you. You don't have to fear. He is with us. We don't have to fear anything. Into the next verse, it says, the heathen raged, the kingdoms were moved. He uttered His voice, the earth melted. I'm going to read it from the NIV version as well, so it makes it a little bit easier for me to explain. So it says, nations are in uproar, kingdoms fall. He lifts His voice, and the earth melts. Right? So nations are in an uproar. Right? So it reminds me of the book of Exodus. Right? In Egypt, God sent His uproar. Right? Because He sent His wonders. Sent Egypt into an uproar. So a heathen is by definition. So I look up the definition of heathen, and a heathen is someone who does not hold to the belief of the one true God. So they have another religion, but not of the one true God. So we look at, like, for example, Egypt, right? God sent His wonders that caused them to be in an uproar, right? Egypt was a place that did not honor God. They worshiped many different gods. They did a lot of things. They had many, if I'm not wrong, they had like many different gods. They also practiced things that were not of God. They were doing wickedness. So they did not follow the one true God, and I say follow because with God's wonders, the reason why God performed his wonders so they will know that he is the Lord, right? So show them that he is the one true God, because they were nations. These nations were what you would consider like heathen. They did not believe, they were heathens, meaning that they didn't believe in the one true God. They didn't honor the one true God, and they chose actually not to honor him even after God performed all these wonders, because Pharaoh did not, he was prideful, right? And God hardened his heart, and his heart was hard already. Going back into the verse when it says, nations are in uproar, kingdoms fall, he lifts his voice and the earth melts, right? So then also read it from the NIV version, which reads, the heathen raged, the kingdoms were moved, he uttered his voice, the earth melted. And we can also look at Nineveh, right? So Nineveh was a city, if you guys probably heard about, everyone knows Nineveh, the story of Jonah. But after time went on, they went back to their ways. They were being wicked, and God actually brought that city down, right? And they were a mighty city, and God made that kingdom fall, right? So when he says that nations are in uproar, kingdoms fall, he lifts his voice, the earth melts. So God will send a kingdom to fall. And then when it says he lifts his voice, the earth melts. So when God speaks, all it takes is a word, right? Because God is a powerful God, right? When he speaks, it just takes, sometimes it's just, God is like, when he wants, like, how can I say, he will be exalted in the earth, right? We're going to get into that part as well. But when God speaks, like, kingdoms melt. How can I explain that? Like, it's just showing that, like, God, all it takes is a word, right? A word, a word. And God is mighty. He's a mighty God, right? So if that makes, like, he's a mighty God, trying to explain how that is, like, he speaks and the earth melts. That is a great way to say that. Like, that's a great, like, literally, like, great, like, because when he speaks, like, earth, the mountains shake. Like, saying this, like, I believe literally, and, like, also, it shows, like, I can't put it into words, guys, but I believe that that's, like, like, a great way, like, the earth melts. If I'm trying to find the words to put that in, take this into prayer. I know God can explain what I'm trying to say, because I don't have the word. Like, I can't find the words right now to say it. Going into the next part of our study, it reads, come behold the works of the Lord, what desolations he hath made in the earth. He makes wars to cease unto the end of the earth. He breaketh the bow and cutteth the spear in sunder. He burneth the chariot in fire. So, come in, when it says, come behold the works of the Lord, what desolation he hath made in the earth. It's speaking about the things that, God has brought cities down, and we see this all throughout the Bible, right? See, like, what the works of the Lord, desolation is like when it's empty, right? So he has brought kingdoms down, right? They are deserted, desolate. He swore to cease unto the end of the earth. He breaketh the bow and cutteth the spear in sunder. He burneth the chariot in fire. Cease means come to an end. So going into the next part of our study, it says, be still and know that I am God. I will be exalted among the heathen, I will be exalted in the earth. The Lord of hosts is with us. The God of Jacob is our refuge. Selah. So I'm also going to read this from the NIV version, and it reads, he says, be still and know that I am God. I will be exalted among the nations. I will be exalted in the earth. The Lord Almighty is with us. The God of Jacob is our fortress. So the definition of exalted means placed at a higher, powerful level, held in high regard, like what he did in Egypt, right? So so God said he did those miracles so they will know that he is the Lord, right? And this it exalted him, right? It let them know that he is the Lord, that he is the Lord. The reason why I say this, because this is what God did to me as well. On my journey with God, I was under the wrath of God, and also the wrath of God, and also God, after the wrath, I got miracles and wonder. Like God hit me with Egypt's plagues. Like, I got plagued with gnats. I got sores on my mouth because I was under the wrath of God for many reasons, right? I wasn't even gonna say the beginning of my stage. I started teaching things that thought were truth, that were not truth, and I blessed the water and I drunk the water, and I actually had God put sores in my mouth, right? So no joke, God will plague you, okay? Like, that's a real thing. And and then with everything that then also I got beautiful miracles and wonders after we went through that time, and the wrath came to an end. God showed me beautiful signs and wonders. So I remember I was outside, and I said, wow, the clouds look fake. I kid you not, I went outside the next morning and God literally made the clouds look fake. Like, you know when you draw a cloud like that? That's what he did to the clouds. And I always call God an artist. And I went outside one day and it looked like he literally painted the sky. I'm not kidding. Like, it looked like he took a paint, like actual painting. It looked like a painting in the sky. And then like he had sent he did these wonders with the birds. Like I believe I spoke about this before in the video, but he did wonders with his birds and his butterflies and with the stars. And like he had like the star like this, and it terrified me, right? It terrified me. And I remember I read the verse that said, don't be scared of the wonders of heaven, though the nations are terrified of them. I was terrified because I was like, what? It terrified me. I was like, I don't know why that one scared me, but then God had shown me a wonder with the moon. And I remember, like, you know, he said the moon and the stars mark sacred times. And I remember he had made a constellation. It was like a constellation. It looked like a square, like with the light, and like the moon was like a small moon. And I was walking. I know that God did it, right? And it was nighttime. I was walking. I was terrified, not because it was night. I was terrified the fact that he can do that. It terrified me, but looking like it was a wonder though, right? God spoke. Like, it was terrifying because like the fact that he can do that, but he spoke really. These are beautiful signs and wonders, right? And it showed me like all I would say is like when I read that verse, I literally understood. I said, I know that you are the Lord. That's what I told God. I know that you are the Lord. He will do it. Okay. And going into the last verse of our reading, it reads, the Lord of hosts is with us. The God of Jacob is our refuge. Shalom. So God is with us. He is our refuge. He is our covering. He is with us. He is our protection, our refuge. The definition of refuge is a state of being safe from a pursuit of danger or trouble. So that is what God is like, pursue. So you know, if danger is pursuing us, right? Because we don't fight against flesh and blood. We fight against principalities and rulers in dark places. You know, the enemy is always here to kill, steal, and destroy, right? And I feel like the enemy is just, you know, enemy plots, right? Maybe not all the time, but definitely pursuing danger upon your life, right? And God is our refuge, you know, in times of trouble. And you know, when pursuits of trouble, right? He is our refuge, right? He is our refuge. I'm going to end with this verse. I feel this is the verse that God wanted the title, like what the message was. He says, be still and know that I am God. I will be exalted among the nations. I will be exalted in the earth. The Lord Almighty is with us. The God of Jacob is our fortress. So be still. Know that God is God. He is with you. He loves you. He is fighting for you. He cares for you. He sees you. He will, you know, we don't fight against flesh and blood. We fight against principalities and rulers in dark places, and God is with you. And you know, God's enemies are our enemies, right? So God's enemies are our enemies. God is fighting that battle. He will be exalted. God bless you guys. And that is the end of our Bible study of Psalm 46. And thank you guys so much for watching this video. Please like, comment, and subscribe. I have a video called Jesus Christ Apparel Co. The website is ChristJesusApparel.com. I'll leave the description in the video. I'm also going to import a video of the products that we have, and if you guys feel led, please buy. If you guys want to, feel like you want to support, please support. And I thank you guys so much. If you guys would like to order, the link will be in the description of this video. And thank you guys so much, and God bless you guys. And now to the video.